Oh my God, hello. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the first little segment of Rolling for Charity. So glad you've joined us. Hope you enjoy what we have in store. I'm Luke, or Tumid Links, of Misty Mountain Legends. I will be your space master for this segment. And I'm just so happy that you've joined us here. Thank you so much. Uh, I have some fantastic players with me. They're wonderful. That's going to be my plugs for this first bit is my players, how amazing that they are and all the cool stuff they're doing. They're going to introduce themselves, but no, whatever they're saying, I'm just like double supporting. So,
and we appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy. That's all. I'm just a little guy. Anyway, take it away, Angie.
Hi, hello everybody, good morning. My name is Angie, Agonethetic on the internet. My pronouns are they, them. I play every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Tales Archived on Known Realms Tolesh. I play Zio Marino over there, my Tiefling Triton Sorcerer Rogue. That's a mouthful. And I am also one part of the Two Sisters One Piece podcast, which many know that I am annoyingly into One Piece, and I put all of that energy into that podcast. And that's me. Next
Hello, everyone. I'm next. Hello, everybody. My name is Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. If you go over to my Instagram, I'm hosting a fundraiser for the PCRF, the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. You can find me every Sunday with Angie over on Tales Archived in the campaign Known Realms Tolesh, where I play Echinacea Belrose, the little wizard who's really just trying to heal people. And then you can also find me Saturday nights starting tonight over on Stealthy Elf Productions on YouTube and Twitch, where we are restarting the Unearthed Inheritance Pathfinder 2e campaign. I believe the next person is Fish.
Hello, I am Fish. I am on all of the places as Fish Finley. Currently, the main thing that I'm doing is actually later today, and also usually every week on Saturdays, I'm over on the Sir Pfeffer's channel playing a level 20 Circle of Dreams druid that's causing terror everywhere because she's a literal nightmare. It's very fun. Other than that, you can find me on my YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram because I post song things and art and play games. It's a very fun time. I do a lot of art stuff. But yeah, that's kind of all my things.
I'm next. Oh no. Hi, I'm Kassie, also known as Nat, for Nat20_NPC on TikTok. You can find me there. Or I'm also the voice of God for Good Time Society, and I run all of their tech for their Twitch streams. So if you want to go check out Becca Scott's channel for her company, I'm always there, kind of in the background. So yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that's so exciting to have you all here. This is going to be so much fun. I have so many exciting things for all of you. So, without further ado, if I can find it, where the heck? Oh, there it is. We're just gonna put on our space hats.
Oh, wait, we had
space hat. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Did I not send that memo about space hats? Everyone needs a space hat for this. Oh shoot. Oh well.
I've got space jellyfish.
I got a broom. Or
It's a halo, and it's always there.
I gotta keep my yellow beanie on. How do people know that I'm not a beanie?
I love it. Well, space hats on. We're just going to get right into the chaos. Welcome to the New Horizon, the largest scientific research and exploration space vessel to explore the vastness of the universe. It is the largest Colossus-class vessel ever made, reaching a length of 2,142 meters, or 7,027 feet. It's crewed by 14,491 personnel, all of whom have been trained so thoroughly in their respective jobs aboard this vessel. The New Horizon has been in operation for nearly 700 ACE years. ACE meaning after Cataclysm Earth. Earth years after the Cataclysm are only 11 months long instead of 12. All fun world-building things that I didn't need to do. I stayed up far too late working on this.
We appreciate it.
We love you for it.
Due to the humans spreading across the universe quickly and adapting to new environments faster than many other sentient species, many Earth terms have become commonplace in conversations regardless of species. But that's not important. What we're here to do, what we're here to follow, is the experience of 4 specific crew members. Ransom, Bunny, Les, and Coral. As they do their job aboard the New Horizon. What is their job, you ask? Well, they're part of the Initiac team, or Initial Contact Team. They're the ones tasked with making diplomatic contact when they come to a new planet undiscovered by the rest of the universe that has sentient beings upon it. Given if the sentient beings on that planet have advanced to the point where making contact would be both safe, ethical, and really just a good idea in general. But we'll see. At the moment, the New Horizon, this vast spaceship that hums as it travels through hyperspace, is very quiet. Very few individuals are awake or even moving about, as the majority of the crew is in cryosleep. In between planets, the journey can take multiples of hundreds of years, so while the New Horizon jumps between planets, 12,000 of the 14,491 crew members stay in cryosleep and alternate watches so as no one's aging out too fast. The only noise to be heard throughout the majority of the vessel is the hum of the engines. But now, in this moment, there's a shudder and a shake as the New Horizon pops out of hyperdrive, and as soon as there is stabilization, the automatic base AI of the ship gets working, and there's a hiss as the cryopods begin to de-thaw. And this is where we get to meet our wonderful crew. Going first, Angie, will you please introduce your character?
Of course. So, as the cryopod sort of hisses and opens, there is this image of a cybernetic-like humanoid that just looks a little bit androgynous with a crop of short, wavy ginger hair and an undercut. They have these unusually large, all orange eyes. I would say think kind of Alita Battle Angel-like, those kind of little bit, uncanny valley, like big eyes, but all orange and kind of glowy. Their body is a little bit stocky and square, and they're still wearing this old duster, like long sort of trench coat duster looking getup. But underneath that clothing, all over their body is like these lines that glow with a similar orange hue as their eyes that also sort of connect around their face in certain parts. Just sort of fissures in their body. So that is Rue Ransom, who goes by Ransom, and pronouns they, them.
Perfect. Ransom, the waking up is always interesting from cryosleep. You've done it multiple times, all of you have. And for you, it's a pretty straightforward experience. A lot of tight muscles, a lot of just dealing with the shivers as the cold seeps away and you're slowly warmed up. And you can hear the hiss, and maybe this will work. Sounds, we're trying them, as other cryopods open, and we see
So probably right next to Ransom's cryopod, a secondary one opens up, and through this like billowing mist, a little very tiny head pops up with a skincare mask on already because they have to keep hydrated through the long space travel. He pulls it down, and you see just kind of like a short, tiny man, very, very small man, about, I think, 2 feet tall man. And he's wearing a hand-me-down t-shirt that has holes in it that says, Got Ransom. Probably an old t-shirt of Ransom's that he has now established as his own. He gets out and immediately starts working on this giant exoskeleton skin that has a seat ready for him to get into. And I'm playing Leslie, he, him, but I'm just Les.
God, it's gonna hurt every time you say it. Oh boy.
I'm a little Lorcatorian boy. So yeah, if he's I think humanoid looking, but just so tiny.
So small.
So small.
So tiny.
So small.
What does your exoskeleton look like? What is the appearance of that?
So my exoskeleton looks like a issued military standard skeleton that is meant for combat of just full bulky shoulders and just ready to just mess some things up if discussions go poorly. But on the inside, he's created kind of little bubbles and hues of orange and there's one more. Can't remember the other description. But of his fellow team that he has kind of decorated on the inside to like show who he's protecting as a good reminder.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's fantastic. As you also feel the cold shiver melting away, we see two other cryopods that are look a little different than the rest, as the occupants of these cryopods are also a little different themselves. And so, Fish, your cryopod is just it's basically a square, and it's just a lot of cold, and inside we see you, I think, frozen solid at this moment.
Mm-hmm. So I'm playing Coral, conscious organism of animated liquid. Brain is everywhere. They are just a blob of water with a bunch of tiny little fish inside of them. Their mind is kind of composed of a combination of them as well as the fish that are inside of them. And at this moment, they are just a block of ice, slowly melting, and kind of in their head, it's very much, it's a very similar experience to when they first kind of gain sentience, and that it's just like they aren't, and then they are. So they're just kind of.
Fantastic. Now, all the fish inside right now are in their hibernation state as well. So I imagine your mind's strangely quiet compared to the majority of how you've lived. Well, since gaining sentience, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And that leaves Button. Button, your cryopod is interesting because it's almost it's a vacuum almost as a cumulosarian. But please describe.
As Bunny, they, them, as Bunny's pod opens and this vacuum unseals, releases, all of the condensation starts to form and drip and steam into this strange, tiny pink form. Very petite, femme-coated individual, and as this diaphanous, translucent pink body appears, bright yellow eyes open, yellow as the sun, and sunrise cumulus clouds start to drift off of the head in this long hair that is in constant motion. And little rays of sunlight start to appear that match the glowing yellow eyes as this individual wearing a midnight blue bodysuit that they have decorated with little pinpricks of starlight at the top and then little plants growing up around the feet comes into view. And they bend down, they pick up their watering can, say, "Good morning, everybody."
Morning. And just immediately, like, a pang of just, like, jealousy of, like, oh, God, so beautiful.
This is never good. Every time we have to wake up like this. Oh, God. You know, I'm glad, Coral and Bunny, that you don't have to live through the struggle of a mortal form like this. Ugh.
You want a massage?
Oh. No, you're just waking up. You're just waking up. There's no need. You don't gotta do that. Also, Les, is that my shirt?
It had holes than mine did.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
Seems utilitarian.
He's just rubbing in the leftovers of the night mask. Okay. And is starting to sync his suit up to the ship to figure out, so what happened during the time? Like, getting an information report from the computer of, like, so what happened while we were asleep? System diagnostic. Give me a rundown.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Also, before we jump into that, I really want to know, because Les is like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, are they just like draped in this shirt?
This is it's like those giant dress shirts. He's like, this is comfortable.
It'd be tight on Ransom, but then it's just like this dress shirt.
It's a full dress for me. Yeah, he's slowly also changing into his like work form, which is like, you know, like a skin tight, like black suit that he just has to wear into the thing, with his hair super tall until it reaches like regulation where he can't go any further, to just give himself a couple extra inches, like maybe a little mohawk.
I think Coral's like secretly really here for the really extra large shirt, because he's about the same size as Coral, because Coral is just like a blob of water, right? But in the dress shirt, you have a very similar silhouette to Coral, and so Coral's just like, just like secretly vibing with this like.
Especially if I put my arms in and I just do the little.
Oh, fantastic. Well, as you're sort of getting you're getting your exoskeleton set up and running diagnostics and getting updates about the ship and everything that's been going on since you've been asleep, you do get a bit of information, as each of the cryopods does also inform each of you how long you were asleep for. And it looks like this one was a relatively short cryo sleep. This one only lasted about 45 years. So you've been asleep that long. It was a very uneventful journey, as you have, unfortunately, sometimes been woken up due to unexpected solar flares getting through the shielding and waking everyone up in an emergency state, and those are always bad to wake up to. But overall, this appeared to be a very calm journey. Since the last planet you all spent time at and researching and studying and mapping out, this planet you're heading to now, that as you look out this porthole window that is large enough that each of you can see out of it easily, you see a planet. You see a planet that is orange. It's got these circling clouds that just really seem to be moving consistently, very in one direction. It's rather beautiful. It has rings around it that are multicolored. It's got orange, blue, green, fading into a little bit of yellow in there as well. The rings around this planet just look beautiful. This is certainly one of the more beautiful planets that you have been to, and every planet is gorgeous in its own way. But this one, something seems especially beautiful about this one. There's a single moon that orbits around it, a simple gray rock. And the landmass on the planet seems to be almost kind of purple in color. And as you look closely, just what you can see with your naked eye is the ozone itself seems to have this purple tinge to it. And it's fascinating.
Bunny presses their nose up against a porthole window, and they say, "Ransom, it looks like you."
Like me. I mean, it's our next mark for sure.
Coral does much the same and pushes themselves up against the window. From if you're looking from the outside, it just looks like a fish tank at this point because it's just all of the fish are right up against the glass, also looking out. It's so beautiful.
Les has brought over a tray of hot bean water. All right. But it's like super high above him, like just trying really hard.
Yes. Thank you. Les, you always know what's best for us.
So what's it look like? I'm assuming the porthole is high.
Ransom, so in this moment, I feel like Ransom, so their body, those lines, I will spend 1 adversity token to shapeshift. So those lines that I described earlier, they glow a little, and their body starts shifting almost like, kind of like, again, it's cybernetic, so bits and pieces look underneath as they move, very mechanical. And rather than just change their face appearance, they still look the same, but they do get taller and a little bit stockier, a little bit like more stronger. And then they pick up less just to go ahead and like allow less the visual of being able to see through the porthole.
Thanks. Starts awkwardly climbing up to look.
Fantastic.
Nice. Cool.
Really quick, Bunny is going to scoot over to Coral, noting you said that there is like one weather system essentially, like it is all moving in tandem. Have you ever seen anything like that? It's like you.
It is. It's very cool. My planet had just water. There wasn't much in the way of weather with very, very water.
Fair water? Well, it's like... it's like... most planets I go to, when there's a water cycle, and, you know, there's an atmosphere, and there are clouds moving around, they're all sort of dancing with their individual partners, and this just looks like one person dancing.
That's such a beautiful way to think about it. I don't remember my planet because I wasn't me yet, but the fish say that it was all just water. But that sounds like a much more exciting way to think about it. And all this is while Coral is still pressed up against the glass, so all the fish are still looking out the window, but like out the backside you can just see like the wavy water as they're like responding to you.
Their little tails.
It's like looking through a fish tank, basically, just to the outside.
Oh, fantastic.
Maybe it's alive. And then they leave it at that.
That's such a beautiful... Coral will like redirect back at the window and just be like, wow. That's such a cool way to think about it.
Perfect. As you all admire this, and you can hear the rest of the ship also waking up, as in some of the other compartments for the cryo chambers, other teams are starting to wake up from their cryo sleep. And last thing you see on this planet as you move away to begin your actual prepping for the normal wake-up procedures, you see that as part of this weather pattern, there is a single, it almost looks like a wave of this like very tan cloud that seems to wash over the planet slowly. It moves rather fast that you can see it moving as you're just standing there, but it's just this large cloud that covers nearly the entire planet, but just this one line that slowly dissipates behind it as it washes over this planet.
Can Les, like, while now being able to see this, make some sort of like brains check to like, or possibly connect to the cybernetic exoskeleton that I have and like kind of get a diagnostics so far of the planet?
You can absolutely try to do a brain check. The ship is already sent out scanners and everything to do planetary scans, so that information will be available soon. But at the moment, you can definitely just do a... Like, you've been to enough planets, so you could probably gauge what this is. So go ahead and give me a brain check.
D6? Oh, a 6 plus 1, so 7.
So it's a 6, so that means the dice explodes. You get to roll it again and add that to your roll.
Ooh.
So glad this is a good test run. 5.
5. All right, so
12.
that was so 12 total. Oh man, really knocking that out of the park. You looking at this immediately know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. You've seen this on planets in much smaller scale, and I mean, this is insane to look at what you're seeing now. You note that that's a sandstorm. That is a one singular sandstorm that spans nearly the length of this planet. And also, looking at this planet, you realize this is a huge planet. To give you an idea, its size, well, it's bigger than a lot of planets you've been to, but you would say it's still a mid-sized planet. It's only somewhat smaller than planet Earth, though planet Earth is such a distant memory. This one is, to have a sandstorm this size is intense, to say the least.
No, that's... Alright, I'm gonna have to add some compressed air cleaning supplies to my exoskeleton travel pack. Damn.
So it's a massive sandstorm? That's what you said?
Ooh, and it's gnarly. It's just one that just circles. I would hate to get caught up in there, but I feel like that might be inevitable.
Concerned if we're going as initial contact, I'm concerned about Bunny and Coral. We're gonna have to find some kind of protection for you both, especially with the sand.
Fish, let me know if this is like inappropriate, and I'm so sorry if it is. Like, if you come into contact with dirt, do you just become like mud?
I don't know. I know that a lot of I
really hope you don't. So that's that. I will make sure you don't.
I also hope that I don't. That seems unpleasant.
Yeah.
But I hope that I've heard that a lot of my kind tend to be in big suits and stuff. I don't like that because I was in a tank for so long, and now it's like I don't want to be in a thing. So like, I guess if I have to, I could be in a suit, but like I don't want to. But I don't know what mud feels like. So
we could do an experiment in a control environment.
And you see this three-fingered like arm kind of thing kind of push out of the rest of Coral's body, and they point at you and they go, "I like your thinking."
Like a hydraulic system in my suit, but I feel like that might not be a good thing for you to like be a part of. So I'm not sure the fish would appreciate machinery.
You see the inside of Coral, the group of fish has schooled up and has now formed this like shape of just like a vague headish sort of shape, and is shaking their head.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
And Bunny, what do you think? Something to help so that you don't get swept away?
I mean, once I learn about the atmosphere, I'll have a better idea. It does look windy down there, which I think might be a problem for me. So I might be in a suit too.
Well,
Otherwise, I'll get blown around the planet real fast, which could be fun. That could be fun.
yeah, like a carnival ride. You remember those?
I've heard the old stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I have
Maybe you
not.
should text.
Not. Well, so we could do this the standard politically correct way of asking for the suits before we go down there, or we can do a little bit of my type of specialty, which is just grabbing them.
I mean, I think we're part of the away team and they might have supplies for us, but that's okay.
Never quite as fun, honestly. But I won't cause problems. I won't cause problems for the rest of us. I'll keep it contained.
So, yeah, Les is gonna go over and start actually suiting up and getting ready to go into the exoskeleton and look for any sort of compartment, possibly, of if need be, can one of my crew members hop in? Like, see if there's a backpackish sort thing.
You
Have, like one of
definitely
those fish tank backpacks.
Like a Cusco Yzma.
Yes.
Reconfigure the cryopod. If it's just like maybe like a giant like jar. To put that at like a mason jar in the back. But huge.
You don't find anything necessarily on your exoskeleton or in the room where you all are that would work for that, but you know it. You could definitely find all the supplies you would need, all the suits you would need in the supply rooms and the science office. And given how the standard protocol for these things go, you know you're about to be called to the meeting room with all the other heads of the various offices, the science office, the defense office, the recon and surveying, as well as meeting with the captain and the secondary officer. And in fact, as you're trying to figure all this out, there's as someone rings the door on your bell, and you hear over the intercom a familiar voice of someone you know who usually wakes up from cryo sleep around the same time you do these times. And you hear someone say, "Good morning. I hope you slept well. I've been told to wake you up and have you go ahead and get dressed, and we're going to have a good old time, and you're gonna go head on up to the meeting room, eh?"
And who is this that we know?
You recognize this as Orvez, a Skitchling. Skitchlings walk on all fours and have hands instead of feet for all four limbs. They have flatter, disc-shaped heads with bright green. Orvis specifically, she has these bright green eyes that are right where cheeks would be in a like other anatomy. It's very, very interesting.
Thank you, Orvis. And suit up.
Perfect.
Go like that on the
That's
dress.
when there's a rainy day.
Ah!
We start running.
Yes.
Les's suit is like 7 feet tall, like overcompensatedly tall. I have to sit in the chest cavity, so the chest is pretty bulky and like just round.
Excellent.
Right. And then there's like a window right here, but there's also like a head on top, so it's just like a 2-head situation. Yeah.
Ransom's not gonna run. They're just gonna put their hands in their pockets and just saunter over.
Yeah, I'm walking with Ransom. I'm not fast.
Coral's is just if anyone's just a blob, kind of like very plasmoidy in energy, just kind of like slithering across the floor, kind of. That's a weird word to use. but I think it's the most accurate here. It's basically slithering, but like blobbier.
Perfect. So,
Honestly, I like letting Bunny win, because when Bunny wins, and this is Ransom talking to Les. When Bunny wins, they brighten up, like the sunshine thing. We don't get to see that enough.
I know. Oh, just pure jealousy and just like admiration, like, oh yeah.
No,
Well, for being adorable, Ransom, you get our first reroll. You can mark down that you have a free reroll to use, donated by chat. That was donated not for anyone in specific, but I was just like, that was adorable, and I want to give that to you. So you have a free reroll at any time.
Thank you.
I was also given one, and I was told to use it for evil. So thank you.
Me for being cute. Luke for being evil.
Hurt us.
I'm glad we as a stream have like our priorities straight.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Wonderful. As you leave your cryo sleep compartment, you see the whole ship is awake and moving about. A lot of general diagnostic checks about the whole ship as all the thousands of engineers that are aboard this vessel go to work, double checking that everything's good to go. All systems are working. Shields are working. Everything is good to go, as another new planet means a lot of unknown. You've had a lot of strange planets that you've been a part of the exploration of, and you've had a lot of very dangerous planets that you did not get to spend a lot of time on. So you never know what you're going to run into with these things. As you make your way through, you see a lot of familiar faces. A lot of your fellow crew members, people who you've worked with before, and you also, as this is such a massive ship, see a lot of unfamiliar faces as people are moving departments and going to do diagnostic checks on other parts of the ship that they haven't done before. But the primary thing
is a little window to Matt, so you can't see him.
Perfect. As you make your way to the meeting room, there is the you see what is the cafeteria. It's simply a window where there's a line for individuals who have woken up from cryosleep, who are, here's your food, here's everything you need, here's your nutrient packs for the variety of individuals who don't necessarily ingest nutrients the same as everyone else. As there's a lot of variety aboard this vessel, as you see all different species of aliens and other life forms who all have come together for one goal, and that is for exploration and scientific advancement. The meeting room, as you know, it's about a nice 15-minute saunter. Bunny, you get there much faster than the rest, as you just
Rise and shine.
You hear a few various, "Good morning, Bunny."
Good morning. They have grabbed, as they ran past the cafeteria, a bottle of water and some fish food. They pocket the fish food for Coral, but then they start just guzzling the water. A, because they just ran, and B, because that is their sustenance. And they get a little less translucent, a little thicker.
That's our cue to drink water, guys.
Yep.
Hot bean juice for less.
Perfect. Ooh, that hit the spot.
I don't drink coffee, so I didn't realize that that's what you were talking about when you said hot bean water earlier. I am now caught up. I just thought that Trey hot bean water, that was bean flavor.
Hey, I think hot bean water sounds more like space coffee than saying space coffee. So
Or just, you can always, what I like to do is anytime I'm saying space anything, I just add a sp onto it, so it's just spoffy.
it's coffee.
Spoffy. Space
That's
coffee.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So
I got my spotter and my fish food.
you got Les grabs like a protein bar. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And whatever the equivalent of like Mountain Dew is. Fountain Dew. By your words and standards. Sorry.
Yeah. Ransom grabs a spoon of oatmeal.
It never gets old. Oh, man. Wonderful. There's, as you all are grabbing stuff, there is a chorus of hello, good mornings, and just greetings from people that you know, friends that you've made aboard the vessel. But most people are aware of the procedures and know that you're on a bit of a time crunch to get to the meeting room, so you aren't stopped for very long. Mm-hmm. Arriving outside the meeting room, you see a familiar face. You actually see the captain. Captain Vashmadr or Tanak. Vashmadr or Tanak. A very tall Abyssian man with very, very long, very decorative fins that start right above the eyebrows that lean back and go down the base of his spine. He also has these sort of tendrily looking things that would equate to basically what could be facial hair for an Abyssian. Very large webbed hands and feet, and a very aquamarine, more on the green side of the color, skin tone in various shades across their arms and face. He greets you, and
what's the proper?
Yeah, the survey corps.
Yeah, I was like, are we gonna or I was like, oh god, what is it?
It is whatever you want it to be. You can absolutely just full survey core it up.
Coral doesn't have much in the way of like shapes to bend, so they just kind of like squash and then unsquash.
Amazing. Hey, morning, Captain V.
Good morning. I hope you all slept well.
A little cold. Yeah.
It was very quiet.
Yeah. Oh, I've been out of cryosleep for only about a week now, so a little bit of a heads up on all of you, but we've had a very easy traveling since. This planet, we got some scans back, but this one's a doozy, I'll tell you what. Though I'll leave it to Charles to fill you in.
We saw the sandstorm as we were coming by.
Ooh, that is one of the issues we expect to figure out. But please, at ease and after you.
And he pushes a button that's along the side of the door, and the doors open up. And he motions for you all to step inside.
Yet again, Bunny races inside to be the first.
Leslie very, very deliberately tries to be the last one in. Let his team go first. He could hold the door open as well. Like,
you know, you don't have to do that. It's
after you, sir.
Very well. Thank you.
And it's better not to fight him, Captain.
I know.
Coral
just
was in
myself on the whole crew.
Yeah.
Cool.
Walking inside, you see a flurry of people. You see a lot of the various folks on the different teams, but you see the head science officer, Charles, a human man who, to describe what he looks like, for those of you who have played Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, do you know Taro? The science guy from Kakariko Village?
Yes.
Like the really muscly one?
Yes.
Oh? What? Okay. We'll go there.
Think that. That is, He's hot.
Oh.
Oh no, he's hot.
Oh no! When you were saying the describing the captain, I said hot fish man as description. So
Spoiler alert, most of my NPCs are gonna be hot. I
assumed we're playing a role-playing game.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yes. But yes, Charles, who is one of the smartest individuals aboard this vessel as head science officer,
I love
has
science. I love
Science.
chemistry. You know,
I love you for your
have a
mind.
little bit of chemistry between each other. Sorry, I'm done.
You can't see Les in his suit because the screen is now matte, but he's like.
I'd like to think that Coral, like their player, is also Ace Arrow, and so it's just sitting there going like, I don't understand. What's up, fam?
perfect. I love it.
Charles, I hear you have things to tell us, and how's the aquaponic garden going?
Oh yeah, I got a lot to tell you all. It's oh man, this planet is something else. I tell you what. But the aquaponic garden is going so well. Everything is growing just beautifully. Thank you so much for your assistance in helping me set that up. That was beautiful.
Thank you for letting me make the crop circles.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Have you deciphered the poem yet?
Oh, Bunny. I know science. I don't know much literature. I'm not in the way of understanding poems. I didn't even know there was a poem. I'm so sorry. I will have to go back and figure that out.
Well, now there's a puzzle for you to figure out.
No, there is. There's so many puzzles. I promise. I will come back next time you see me. I will have deciphered that poem.
I'll hold you to it.
I think
Alongside-
difficult to push someone against words.
You'd be surprised what I can do.
You just
Yes,
see like
and
the
do
fish
the- wait,
inside just kind of go like.
Amazing. Alongside Charles, you see the head of the defense offices, the defense officer, Skit, who is also a Cumulusarian. Though Skit is very gray in color and typically has this this bodysuit that morphs them into a more very slender, almost very tall form. And there's constant little bits of static electricity coursing through their bodies as though it's a tiny little thunderstorm going on inside. Skit is, she is just talking very in depth with what looks like who you would know as the Recon and Surveying Officer, Nayan, who is a Therinian, who is a small-ish space bear, is how it's described. A Therinian that looks very much like a sun bear. Y'all know what those look like? That are that have the very wide necks and the deck. Yes, has that sort of form. But Nayan, seems to also be in a very heated discussion back with Skit. So
I would love to be heading over to that conversation. Les is like, those are the people I talk to. Those are mine. My guys. My peoples. My peeps.
Perfect. Good. And as you make your way over there, the last person of importance, though everyone is important on the ship, the last officer you see in here is Aurelie, which I know I've made all of these names so hard to pronounce.
Thank you so much for
The
that.
spellings that I have put in my notes to convey what they sound like is horrifying and also hilarious. So.
Yeah.
What was the pronouns of Nayan again?
Nayan is she, her.
She,
Skit
her.
is she, her. Charles was he, him. Aurelie is a non-binary Prenilian. Prenilians are you would see is they're very very light purple skin, 4 distinct arms, all of them ripped, just absolutely jacked body build.
Mm-hmm.
And their hair is it's cropped short, not quite a buzz cut, as it's a little spikier and kind of descends shorter as it goes back. But their hair doesn't look like hair, it looks like very fine glass.
Mm-hmm.
Very ornate, like just very beautiful to look at as the lights within the room reflect and refract.
What is their position?
They are the secondary officer or second in command to the captain.
Yeah, I feel like Ransom would probably gravitate towards Aurelie.
Perfect. All right, so I know where Les and where Ransom are going. Bunny and Coral, who are you gravitating towards, just so we can get the conversations?
Gotta talk to Charles. Gotta hear about that planet. Gotta hear about the weather system. I need to know what we need to prepare. Also, can I plant things there?
I think I'm
Adorable.
just gonna be following Ransom around, because we're BFFs.
It's my buddy. Let's go, buddy.
And I have no way to relate to any of these people whatsoever outside of, yes, I am water. So it's fun to hear other people's conversations.
Perfect.
You'd like to be the fish on the wall, is what you're saying.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I love Coral so much.
Fish on the wall.
Oh, all right.
Les is not gonna say anything and like put himself into the conversation at all until they establish, like, say hello to him. He's just gonna be in the suit, walk up, and then just wait until spoken to.
T-pose.
Yeah, just to hear, and then like he will not step into a conversation. He's gonna be invited in.
Perfect. Very polite. Well, starting with Les then. As you walk around this large round table to the opposite side where they were having their conversation, you begin to pick up what they're saying. And you can hear Skit say,
Mhm.
I really don't like that sandstorm. That could cause a lot of issues for most of our equipment, and very few of the vessels we have available to send down can handle a constant battering of the sand of this magnitude. This is a very delicate situation that we'll have to handle.
and Nayan, in response, says, it's timed. It is a very rigid cycle according to our scans so far. It is just this single, one whole rotation around its planet. It will be okay. We will have time to get down and then leave before the sandstorm hits us again. We just have to be on our toes timing-wise. Or it'll be okay. And it's just a lot of encouragement of, like, things will work out, but Skit, being the defense officer, is obviously trying to make sure everyone is safe and all of their gear and equipment is taken care of.
Mhm.
But they see you standing there.
I'm
and
fully
Skit,
at ease, soldier, like just waiting.
Skit smiles in the way that Cumulusarians do, where you see static. For Skit, they don't have as much of a face as Bunny does. But Skit, you see the static electricity condense into what looks like a smile. She sees you there and says,
Les, it's good to see you. Welcome.
To just speak freely, sir, or ma'am.
Yes, freedom. Always. You're always welcome to speak freely here.
Appreciate that. Didn't mean to pry. Oh, just overheard. So we're worried. What do I need to do to make sure my team makes it out?
Well, with the briefing, we will just make sure that you have your timers set. All of your clocks will be set to a specific time. That will give you plenty of time to get out.
Do we have a contingency plan if we somehow get caught in the storm?
We're working on it. That is the concern right now, is if there were some mechanical failure for some reason or damage to the ship upon entry, we will have to figure out how to best get you out or give you a plan on how you will hunker down and wait the storm out. But there's many things to go over, and we will have a variety. This is going to be one of the more complicated planets. We can already tell.
Copy that, ma'am. Do we have any other safety concerns? Any hostiles in the region?
Non-hostile at the moment, but Skit motions over to Nayan, who speaks up and says, our scans picked up a variety of sentient life forms. There are 3 different evolved sentient species on this planet, which is strange and unheard of. And each of them is at least technologically advanced enough that they have sent out scanners, and our vessel at this moment is being scanned by one of their rudimentary satellites. And they tap a little bit on the table, and a small hollow screen just pops up, and it shows the outside of the New Horizon. And you see very rudimentary satellites that have been sent out and are very slowly scanning your vessel.
Mm-hmm. In Les's suit, he has kind of like a holographic screen in front of him of like kind of like the outside world and like things to like has all of his teammates' health bars on the side to like keep contact with them. Like, okay, they're alive still. So he like pulls the screen over and like enlarges so he can kind of see more of the details of the satellite within. It looks very gamer-like setup, like a man couch inside the suit for him. That hence the Fountain Dew on the side.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Very Oracle.
Yes.
All right, copy. Not hostile yet. We'll make a note. Bring artillery.
So that is the conversation, and it kind of continues to linger on. And while that's going on, we'll move over to Ransom and Coral having a conversation with Aurelie.
Mm-hmm.
As you approach, Aurelie gives you just a, salutes, welcomes you in.
Boing.
Well, second in command, so give it to us straight. I know we've got all these big, great minds trying to make sense of what's out there, but I like to hear from practical individuals such as yourself.
This one is not trouble, in my opinion, but requires a great deal of nuance. This planet is interesting, to say the least, and we've seen many interesting planets. But this one, dealing with 3 distinct and unique civilizations, unique species in one planet is... In all my years on cataloging planets and new universes, I've never seen 3 fully evolved sentient species on one planet. So we must take into account a lot of things. Their relationship with each other, their own developed civilizations, as based on the scans that were provided. Each one similar, but there is one sentient civilization that their technology is surpassed the rest of the planet. And that is where the concerns come in, is what sort of relationship do the less developed civilizations have with this one, and there's a whole lot of nuance that will be going into this. And so, I expect that you all, as you will be sent down to make contact. And we have teams already making contact with the planet and explaining why we are here and who we are. But you all will, of course, have to meet with leaders of this planet and of each of these civilizations. You have to be careful with your words.
Oh, really, eh? Are you saying that I'm not careful?
Aurelie just raises a single eyebrow, and in their very deadpan way, wasn't it you who accidentally offended in your first day here?
I
And
don't.
I say that. Say
I don't
accidentally.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember it quite like that. I don't remember. It was. I thought I was flattering them. You know, I thought it was a me being, coy and a little saucy here. Yeah, sure, and they took it the wrong way. I didn't mean to do it. But okay, my words, I understand. Intent, regardless of intention. Tact is something that I'm not particularly excellent at.
A big three-fingered arm comes out the top of Koro as they go a la kid in the classroom. I'll be careful. I'll be really careful.
Yeah,
I'll be so careful.
That's why I have Koro with me.
Yes. Coral is your tact. I understand.
And Bunny too.
Boing, boing, boing.
Yeah. Coral, Bunny, and Les is always, Les is so careful that there's nothing to worry about. I'm just a fun.
We're a perfect team.
Yeah. I'm just here to, personality hire, right?
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I'll just
Ask what is that to what is a personality?
Yes.
Oh, it's well, you know how sometimes I just kind of say something that might be a little bit out of pocket, but then someone just like laughs at it and then leaves and then doesn't take it seriously?
Oh, so like a joke.
Yeah, kind of like a joke, but also like a this person's kind of ridiculous, and then they just completely underestimate my ability to be able to get things done. I just kind of do a little bit of subterfuge with my words and get away with things.
She's just boing, 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 boing.
That's the
boing.
overall definition of a personality.
Coral has taken this whole conversation to mean that a personality is a joke.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
Coral is the philosopher here.
yeah. It's like you lost the point.
Mm-hmm.
But Coral is enraptured by your words and is totally here for listening to this conversation. Just the thoughts are not sticking well.
The
Like,
thoughts
Coral?
are nodding.
Coral, you center me. Truly. You really do.
You're not sure how, but you get the feeling that Coral is smiling. It's
Yeah.
hard to tell because water.
The fish are just going like this. Like in a little.
Perfect. And as that conversation happens, we will return over to Charles and Bunny.
All right, so what do you got? I want to know all about the atmosphere, the known biomes, the water cycle, the weather system.
What we have so far is a lot, I'll tell you that. But, and he motions over and does some little tapping on the table. Another hollow screen pops up, and a lot of scans show up. And this is where I have another visual for my players. Yeah. What pops up is a reading. A very simple reading of the planet. Boom. All the various different details about it, and the basic sort of points of interest and some other unfilled information, as the scans are only getting so much, as this will be the fully fleshed out thing at the very end after you all go down. You see it is a pretty habitable planet, aside from having a higher than average gravity. So you know that you'll have to have a little bit of a brief habitation before going down, which, you know, that doesn't normally take too long, a few days at most. And you also see that the oxygen is rich, or the atmosphere is rich with oxygen. So those of you who need to breathe are at a little bit of a risk of oxygen poisoning. So masks and stuff are required. But other than that, you will need to have very little suits in the way of actually protection from the environment, save for those of you who are water and cloud. What we have is a very, very basic sort of weather pattern, aside from it is all one. The planet itself is very unified in how the weather moves, very common repeat patterns. The rain moves at once. The sun shines at once. It all just circles around the planet, all following behind in the trails of that massive sandstorm.
Here's the question. Is it a part of the rainstorm, or the sandstorm, or is everything else following to fix what the sandstorm is doing to the planet?
My personal hypothesis is that what you've just said is that the sandstorm is this destructive force that destroys much of the planet, but from what our scans show, the flora and fauna on the planet are little affected by it overall. The flora are rigid, tough. It would take much more than a sand blaster to remove them from the Earth. But it certainly does enough damage to just the world as a whole that the weather patterns that follow immediately after do, as far as our scans are showing, what you have suggested. They fix, they recycle, they recreate the land as the sandstorm passes through.
You know what that suggests to me?
What?
Intent. Sentience. There is a gardener on this planet, and it is everything in the sky.
Bunny, you have such a extravagant way of viewing the universe as a whole. That is brilliant. It's beautiful. Whether or not the scans will back that up is always yet to be seen, but I love your hypotheses and your theories. The intent certainly seems to be there.
Well, I will just have to try and talk to them and prove myself right.
I hope you do find them. And as all those conversations happen, there is a sudden, as the captain stands at the head of the table, addressing all of the teams.
Addies. Well, this is what we're dealing with.
And pulls up all the scans that now individually you've seen and now you all together see, and goes through all the details of the planet.
We have made contact. They are not outright hostile, which is always a good sign. And they've agreed to have a meet, but due to some of the various customs of them, there's a meeting point where all three of these sentient species come in times of peace, where all the civilizations sort of interconnect and weave. This is the one
landmass on the planet where they have these peace summits as a way to describe them. We've gotten a reading of their languages, so you will be able to communicate easily with them when you make your way down. But we have run into one snag. To get to the meeting point, you'll have to land some ways away and make the trek on foot, as they do not allow any sort of technology over a certain threshold to be brought onto the premise of this, what I suppose could be described as holy ground, is the way that has been explained to us. So you will have to go in a little underprepared. They have said that you are allowed to bring some simple weapons for your own safety should you run into any of the, as they described, scaly horned beasts.
That's good.
Well, that's sir. Question about my own exoskeleton suit. This allowed?
Yes, you're anything that is required for movement or living on the planet below is allowed, of course, but vessels and larger weaponry will not be allowed, so I'm afraid we will have to strip the larger artillery off of your exosuit.
Yep. Giant war machine looking thing. Can I keep my laser blade?
Yes, you may keep that.
Thank you.
Now, do you have any questions for me?
Well, you mentioned... Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem at all, Bunny. Go right ahead.
You mentioned it's holy ground. Do you know what they worship?
We don't. As each civilization on their own seems to have their own set of beliefs, each one has told us something different about it. But the one key factor is each individual civilization, based off of the short conversation that our contact team is having, each one developed the idea that this spot is sacred individually. They did not come together and decide this. Each one just recognizes this one location as a peaceful and welcoming place that should be respected and treated with the utmost care.
Do we have names for these civilizations and points of contact?
Yes. So, what we have so far is what they have called themselves, and is the best translation for the individual species names, is we have Eskins. Eskan, very short. The description we have of them is human height, 6-legged with 2 opposable fingers on the forward 4 feet. They are hairy in similar appearance to a predatory animal with 2 forward-facing eyes and an extended whiskerless snout.
Reverse centaur?
Sort of.
Giant mole rat.
A little bit. Very similar in that way.
Okay.
We then have the Ahitian species. They are, as with so many planets that we have discovered, crab-like in appearance. For some reason, so many planets, the natural direction of evolution is crabs. We still have no idea why.
Crabs
sticks
persist.
2 arms out with the 3 fingers and starts doing this.
The one key difference we find is they have 4 legs and their claws are quadrisected. So they have 4 individual hooks that make up their claws. And then we have the Dons species. Dhonns. Also human height, 2-legged, but they have only those 2 appendages. Their faces have no eyes, but they have 6 tendril-like appendages that stick out from their faces. They have 2 that sit along the crest of their heads that are moth-like in nature and appear to be for hearing and sensing movement. There's 2 that sit along the sides where the ears would be on a human that have denser and thicker muscle that appear to be for gripping and lifting heavier things. And then right on the front are 2 that have small pincers on the end that we would wager off for fine-tuned motor skills. And so they appear to do all their physical actions with their heads and face. Very interesting evolution there. We're trying to figure out how that came to be. But points of contact, we have 1 representative from each one that will meet you at the landing site. We have Aikpo, who is from the Ahitians. We have Baxel from the Dons. And then we have Iram from the Eskins.
Akpo, Baxels.
What was the Ahitian one again?
The Ahitian one was Baxel.
Baxel.
I thought Baxels was from Dawn.
No.
That's what
You're
I
right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The
Yeah.
Eskin is the Ahitian one.
Was it
Or the-
Akpo? Akpo?
Aikpo.
Let's just go one more time through the list.
Yeah, let's just go through the list.
I'm
the
so
Aikpo?
confused and there's so many scratch marks.
I know. Sci-fi. Oh. Aikpo was for the Ahitian.
Aikpo.
Aikpo.
Aikpo. Aikpo.
Axel was for the Dawn.
Axel?
B.
Baxel. Okay, we're back. I'm caught up now.
And then Iram was for the Eskin.
Iran.
Thanks,
And
Luke.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now comes the spelling test. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, don't even
How
ask
they
me. No.
spell.
I spelled all of these phonetically.
Oh, 100%.
Gotta do it. Any more questions for me? Any concerns? Protective suits will be available for both you, Coral, and you, Bunny, so that you are not swept away or caught up in the sands or muds or anywhere along the planet that you'll be safe to roam.
Thank you very much.
Ransom's gonna look over to Coral like one more time, be like, I know you don't like them suits, so you're gonna be okay?
I think so.
Okay.
It's kind of cold, but other than that, I think I'll be okay.
If you get uncomfortable, you tell us.
Big arm pops out.
Coral, I will do anything to make sure that you're good.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
And the fish are all like,
Well, if you have no more questions, then best of luck. Safe travels.
Onward.
boing, boing, boing.
Excellent. As you make your way to the landing vessel that you will be taking down to the planet's surface, this is where we're going to take our first break. So it's going to take a nice little 7-minute break and get some water, do all that stuff. And I would think we'll be right back here before too long. Oh my god, welcome back. We're here. We're back from break. We're hydrated. Yeah. Feeling good.
I'm always hydrated. I'm a blob of water.
Dehydration is deadly.
Yeah, Les did his face mask, so he's hydrated skincare wise, but you know, he doesn't drink water very often.
Skin moisturized, I am not.
Yeah. Hydrated skin, dehydrated body. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. Well, we find the four of you on board one of the planetary vessels, one of the smaller spaceships that exits from the New Horizon to fly down to the planet itself. Entry is a little rough as you've timed it so that you're following in just behind the sandstorm passing by. So you're still getting a lot of rumbles and tumbles as the wind batters against your spaceship. But thankfully the autopilot manages and corrects just as it needs to, and you land down on this planet with ease. You get a quick radio call through the comms, and you hear Charles say, "All right, now, you all take your time, be careful, but when I say take your time, make sure you are out of there within 14 hours."
Giant holograph is on Les's screen, and his thing starts having a countdown timer. So for like Les's suit, it's removed any hard gun artillery. He does have a laser blade, now properly strapped to the back, with an air filtration system all as well for any sand or the oxygen. But yeah, no, he's fully ready.
Perfect.
Likes to do a reconnaissance, scanning of the area if he can of any life forms around us while we land.
The scan brings up a variety of small life forms, animals, smaller creatures. And also, weirdly enough, there is a reading that is... It is a life signature. But it's not of a beating heart. It's like a constant hum, almost, is what the vibe it gives off. As though it's like a heartbeat that is constantly in the beating process. So it's just a...
Like a white noise.
Identified
white
organism, 6 o'clock of spaceship. Does anybody else have a
It's
visual?
kind of everywhere around the
Oh,
spaceship.
everywhere. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's the weather,
360?
guys. I think it's the weather.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you said the ozone was kind of purplish in tint. So, what does it look like right now? Like, what is that ozone like almost like physical? Like, almost like how the way that fog works, or?
As you... Well, here. Are you going to... Are you just trying to look through like the screens that are on the ship, or are you going to actually take a step outside of the space? The vessel?
Yeah, Ransom's gonna walk out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I will walk right on
Les
your
is going to walk out first.
Oh,
No! But
Ransom
very
opens the
kindly.
door, let's
Very
just-
much more of like a, 1 sec. Let me go first. And
yes.
Les will proceed outward first if Rue is making a way. Making it way.
Perfect. As the bay doors open and you step out onto this planet, the first thing that you really get as you step out is this dense smell. It's almost like it's thick. The air is thick. As weird as it sounds, it's like almost like a syrupy consistency as you intake it through your whatever orifice you can smell through. And it is this sort of earthy sweet scent, as though you combined this very strong, healthy soil with cotton candy.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really nice, but it overcomes every other scent. So you get the idea that while on this planet, this is all you're going to be able to smell. And it throws you off a little bit. It immediately makes like your saliva start to taste difference in your mouth as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is ruining my Fountain Dew.
All the fish in coral are gonna start like swimming up against like the surface of the water to kind of get a whiff, basically. But as as it say permeates everyone else's saliva, it's permeating my existence as a whole, and so all the fish don't need to be as close to the surface anymore to smell it, and so they're just kind of swimming in a circle in the middle.
Little whirlpool.
Even though you are still in a protective suit, you still like, so you're not, it's more so you don't just go through the mud and like pick up soil or other debris. You're still picking up the...
Like those hamster balls? Is that the protective suit for like a blob of water?
Fish, you tell me, what does your suit look like for...
I love this hamster ball idea because there's also enough like holes in a hamster ball for Coral to be able to like get out or like feel outside. Like it's enough of a covering to keep them safe from the mud, but it's also like open enough to where they don't feel constricted, which is like their main thing. And so it's just a ball that's just completely full of coral. It's rolling.
Can it also be like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, those kind of like contraptions where it's like it's still in the middle, but then there's like an outside like I don't know, it's not rotoscoping, that's the wrong word for it, but it's like a rotation. It's like a rotational thing where it's like there is a focus thing, and then that thing on the outside moves.
Is it a gyroscope?
A gyroscope.
Yeah.
Gyroscope. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Just like
because that way, like you're like it kind of remains still, and you're able to also not like the soil won't come through like the holes.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I
like this solution.
Perfect.
I think for Ransom though, the smell would be a little overpowering. I feel like Ransom as a person is not a sweets kind of person, right? So they're going to like maybe put something like right below their nose to help, almost like a Vicks vapor rub.
Vicks Spaso rub?
Yeah, Vicks Spaso rub. Just any Latina person solution for just right here.
Excellent.
You with your Vicks Spaso rub, me with my spamster ball.
Yeah.
Do we know how far away from the rendezvous point we are?
Yes. The rendezvous point where you're told to meet the representatives of each, is at the base of the quote-unquote holy site. You each have a built-in map that is it's like an armband scanner that you can pull up, a hollow screen that shows you all the details you need and the direction you're headed and where you need to go. Kind of like, in video games, it shows you the trail you're supposed to follow to get to your next point. You see that it's about a 3-hour walk. And you have been instructed that you should walk as a sign of respect. Because you have like land speeders that would allow you to travel there much faster, but based off of the cultures of these people, you've been told to just walk there as a sign of you're willing to make the effort to be at peace and not be a threat to them.
Okay. 3 hours, so that's about...
After Les has done a full scan and he is feeling like he's good on his end. All right, team. Let's head out.
Let's get to stepping.
A ball excitedly whizzes past you. Squirrel just...
Very slow. I'm kind of clunky, but my flight's an 8.
Great. As you all walk, something you start noticing, well, Coral, you would not necessarily notice right away, but the rest of you who can see Coral would note that the watery form of Coral is starting to actually become slightly purple in color, as though the atmosphere, whatever is making it up, is like as it just kind of travels through, is leaving some color behind.
Coral.
Wait, whoa. System diagnostic. We need to make sure you're good.
I know what it is.
We're all
It's
kinda
the
immediately
spike.
worried.
No, it's all right. I know what it is. So it's a spike in the oxygen concentration. So the atmosphere is much thicker than we think about, like on Earth. So it scatters more sunlight, and therefore water reflects the sky. You're purple, Coral.
I start like driving my little hamster ball in a circle and go, I'm so pretty.
You're so pretty. They're gonna get down with their. Like, I imagine they have like a big fishbowl helmet to hold in all of their like cloud cumulus hair. So they get down to be the mirror for Coral. Look at yourself.
I'm so pretty.
You're so pretty. And
much
as
I love Bunny's explanation, is that true?
this is just what Bunny thinks is true.
Sounds
Is there,
right to me.
Is there any like thing that Les should be concerned about? Is this like?
Nah, I mean, but doing like a quick scan, you can see that it's harmless to Coral, and it's not going to affect the fish. It is it's like it's a pigment.
Got one job.
How it's left behind.
All the fish are up against the surface, like looking in Coral in Bunny's like helmety reflection, and they all also appear to be doing like a kind of like trying to get all angles.
See, it's now it's your turn to do shapeshifting.
Wow.
That's very cool. You do look really awesome. Just want to make sure you're safe.
Thanks. You are appreciated.
I'm just doing my job. Okay.
You're doing a good job.
We still have about 8 more kilometers to go, so I would say we keep going. Is there anything in like this in this travel through? I know there's we were told that there's these creatures, these aggressive creatures, correct? I would like to maybe keep an eye out for any sign of something that looks like either claw marks, scratches, anything that in our travels before encountering any of these creatures is kind of a pattern. Like the way that like bears scratch tree trunks kind of stuff.
I love it. Perfect. Please give me a brains check.
Yeah, let's see. That's an 8.
In any way?
Depending if you want, you can add adversity tokens because you're right there. You can assist. But what is your intelligence? Is your brains a D8?
Yes, it was a D8, so it exploded, and then so that's a 5, so 13.
Cool. That is good enough. You are able to, as you're studying the surroundings and you're looking for this, you're seeing all of the plant life, which the plant's life here, instead of a green, like various shades of green, everything's in various shades of yellow, ranging from red to orange to brown. Everywhere in there is what these strange plants, it's the coloring of them. And along the travel as you go, you see what don't necessarily look like claw marks along the trees. It doesn't appear that these creatures, whatever they are, utilize the trees in any fashion, but it's primarily the rocks, the hardened mineral of the ground that you see dugouts, divots, pits that look like they were dug by a creature. You see larger boulders that have very obvious claw marks on them, though the way it's shaped, it almost, you might recognize it as though it's someone sharpening a blade on a whetstone in how they slide across, like how the marks have slid across. Whatever these creatures are, they're very obviously more earth-based in how they are, more mole-like in how they move, perhaps very obviously large claws.
The dugouts, are they tunnel-like? Do they go subterranean?
For the most part, no, but you do see quite a few as you travel that do. That these are very clearly cavernous in nature, large enough for all of you to fit in. If you wanted to walk down them, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to subvert those rock-like areas and to continue on our path, so that we're not possibly alerting them? Because if they're subterranean, Ransom is telling the group, if they're subterranean, there's a good chance that they could also potentially feel the movement of our feet as we're walking through. So, is there a different path whatsoever? Aside from this one, it might give us a little bit more time to walk, but it'd be smart to try and avoid those creatures.
You think that you could reroute your path, but you know that would take up time. And that's something that you have a limited amount based off of the sandstorm that is on its way. And so you could reroute it, and it would add an additional hour to your travel time.
So because this is like one sandstorm that travels the whole planet, and we're coming in on the tail end, right?
Yes.
Of it? And we have like 14 hours until it hits us.
Yes.
How quickly does it pass over?
In one location, it takes based off the scans that were available at the beginning, it takes about 30 minutes for it to travel across one area. So that's 30 minutes of constant just battering of sand. It moving very quickly, because the sandstorm itself is miles and miles in length.
Yeah, I assumed it was probably super quick. Okay, cool.
So,
Good to know.
Also, while we're at it, Ransom brings up a great point. I need everyone to give me a flight check for being soft-footed, stepping quietly.
I hate
17.
Nice.
Flight.
Right. I need to know what a D8 is.
What is a 0 on a 10? Is that a
That's
10?
a 10.
Oh.
Man, so many exploding dice.
Is this
Yeah.
going to be like a group check?
Oh, honey. Bless what you roll.
We all know I'm in a giant machine.
Yeah.
Thing, right? I think it's only fitting that I rolled 1.
Amazing. I rolled an 11. I exploded, but then the second roll was just a 1.
I got a 9.
No, a 9. Okay. So, Kassie, please take an adversity token.
Yay!
As
Totally surprised.
yay, can use that later.
So I'm at 4 now because we started with 3.
Correct.
Okay.
Ransom, you mention stepping softly, as these subterranean creatures might be able to sense reverberations of the earth, and immediately the whole team immediately starts stepping softly. But the gravity here is a little heavier, a little stronger than what Les is used to, even with a suit.
Dogs couldn't handle it. It's not me. It's the skin.
The suit's having to adjust and is having to make corrections, but it's a bit tough. And so instead of stepping softly, you step with a as you come to a stop. And the earth, that slight vibration reverberates. You all stop. Silent. And nothing happens.
I don't like this.
All right.
Don't like this. I'm so sorry.
As you hear nothing coming, and as the smaller flying creatures make some noises, and not too dissimilar from birds, but more scratchy in sounds, more like kind of noises. But everything seems to be chill. It does not appear to be anything listening. At least right
Like to
now.
imagine that you're like, everybody step quietly, and Les is like, yeah, you got it, and like shoves his leg so far into a hole, and like
Exactly.
Yeah. Precisely.
All right. Just keep walking slowly. But I think we're good.
Good. And you continue onward. Your travels are nice. This planet is gorgeous. With grass, grass being this it's very interesting because as you step, all the plant life here is hardy, withstanding having evolved to withstand a buffeting sandstorm every day. The grass here is rigid. It's like walking on hard plastic. It's a bit tough in some places, especially as some of the grass has grown taller to be about at your shin. It's a little tough going. But overall, you manage and you start walking. And
since I'm in a hamster ball, basically, I'm on top of the grass. I feel like, and it sounds kind of like when you play the kalimba, like how it's just like, but like as like the grass is like flicking against the plastic of the glass of the kind of hamster ball.
Yes, that is phenomenal.
Can't wait to ask these representatives about their crops. These have to be so sturdy. If we could take these to other planets or even onto the New Horizon, who knows how much we could grow. What they could withstand.
Yeah, that's an amazing thought. Yeah. Scanning.
As you walk, there is dramatic scenery, mountains scaling off in the distance, open plains as you walk through these huge valleys between these mountains. And it's about 2 hours into your travel when since you are always scanning, since you are the one constantly on the lookout, can you please give me a real quick brain check?
Yeah. Sure. That's fine. Oh, yes. Okay, so it explodes. For 10.
10. Okay. Something is a little different. Your knowledge of how this planet functions and how everything has been explained to you about this planet. There's something slightly off in this one area. You see the grass looks as though it's been sheared. That kalimba style playing on Coral's hamster wheel becomes more like a dull, like, just clicks as the grass has become so short.
Is this looking like an ambush area? Like they wanted to cut down any tall scenery that things could hide in? Like
You're
I'm
unsure at this moment.
Okay. Definitely something like on my screen has pinged, and it's like I'm looking for where does the end of the shearing end? Is it? Are we walking through it right now? Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Okay. I immediately am like, we might have hostiles inbound. Everybody, stay close. Get behind me. As I try to kind of figure out, like, so where's the end? Like, is there high walls around us? Are we in the middle of a plain?
You see, I mean, there's this strange, like, tree-like plants around, and there's some larger boulders that are around. But overall, it doesn't it'll maybe look like a place for an ambush as much as it is.
Does it look like we're on like a hunting trail of like an animal? Like one of those like animal paths like that you would find on like a nature hike?
In a way.
Okay.
But the air here has a sort of sense to it. And Bunny, you would begin to pick up on this. Being a cloud, you're very attuned with air quality, air vibrations. I actually need you to roll me a grit. Give me a grit roll.
Okay. 5.
5. Bunny, please take an adversity token.
Okay.
Is it visual? Do we see something happen with
Bunny,
Bunny?
do you get a sense of anything? Oh god, his hands are out. I'm worried.
Hands are out.
I never like, as a DM, I never like when I'm doing this. Like, this is something. The player's on the table. No!
Bunny, you feel this weight, this heaviness that almost forces you to condense. It's almost like the pressure of the air is condensing your form more. Though it's not so wrong that you can't uncondense, but if you just were to relax your form, you immediately just would condense down under this pressure. And Coral, in a small way, you feel it too, though not to the extent it's very light. Bunny, this feels important. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, Bunny gets shorter. They're already a pretty petite individual. They start to shrink visibly. And I think they look up into the sky, and because this is such a thick atmosphere, they start to diffuse the light more around them, these sort of like god rays shining out of their helmet. Is something wrong? They're just going to ask the sky.
You talking to?
Please roll me charm.
Oh.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that. Ah!
Talk to the sky.
Please be nice to me. Is... Oh, right. 8.
8.
Wait. I have... A thing. The rules. I am intergalactically beloved. So if someone is familiar with the charitable work I've done, in this case, the crop circles that they've planted on other planets, I get a +3 to charm checks. Would this be someone aware of that?
In this instance, no.
All right, then that's it.
So I have intuitive, which means that I can spend an adversity token and ask you about the surroundings. And then you must answer honestly. Oh, great, GM. So I'm going to spend one of those. And then in response to Bunny asking the sky, or like their surroundings, Ransom's going to look about and try to intuit if there is a form, even if it's like an abstract form, of who could be affecting Bunny in this moment.
Okay.
And I think the goal is to intuit and not approach or direct any conversation to whatever might be out there, but at least point them out to Bunny so that Bunny may lead the conversation.
Gotcha. Order of operations here. Bunny, after that charm, you feel that weight lift. You no longer feel the condensing of your form. And as that happens, you also see Ransom looking around, eyeing tree line, the sky, everything. And Ransom, what you get? It's a breath. Just a soft blowing of air that tingles the not the hair on your neck, but the equivalent of just you get this shiver down your spine. It's not hostile, it's curious. It moves constantly, though it almost seems to, as far as you can tell, pass over. It's moving past you as best as you can feel it, as you're unable to see anything. But this breath is moving on. But it hasn't quite left yet.
Bunny.
Yeah.
Maybe. Have any of y'all ever heard of ghost stories?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, in ghost stories, sometimes, like those old movies back from Earth, they would try to communicate by having the entity either hit something once or twice to try and get answers, right? I think maybe if you want to try speaking, it seems like they've got an interest in you. Whatever this person or creature might be.
Are we sure it's not hostile? It's not sizing us up?
No, it feels more so curious than anything.
As this conversation is kind of beginning, Coral, feeling like a little bit of pressure, is kind of like doing this like compress expand thing inside the hamster ball, just kind of like messing with how that feels. And as you say, it feels like curious. Coral goes,
I think so too. It's an interesting feeling.
Are you the gardener?
Hang on.
I learned.
And is this also related? Is this also related to that like constant like hum, like energy, like life form signature?
If you want to give me a brains check to try and suss that one out, you can.
how far are we from like the holy ground we're trying to get to?
It's like an hour.
About an hour, yeah.
Okay, so we're still quite a ways away. Okay.
6.
6. Unsure. Take an adversity token. You just aren't able to really suss out whether or not it is connected, if this breath is something living, or if this is some strange phenomena that is unexplained.
Okay.
But Bunny, the response to the question, "Are you the gardener?" is met with a silence that is full. This very abstract sensation of there is a silence that is deafening. That just moves slowly before disappearing altogether. and then that pressure suddenly disappears. And as it does, you all look behind you, and you can actually start to see very, very slowly the grass that you just walked on sinking, and like almost looks like it's getting cropped just as far as you can see. The grass underneath you rising back up and like pushing you up, and in its dense state it starts to push you back up as it grows back to where it was.
Whoa. Whoa. I'm getting taller.
There is something about this planet. We gotta talk. We gotta get to that meeting point because I have questions.
Les, how are you
I have
feeling?
so many questions. But I think they're probably the same questions.
Untrusting, but mostly protective. Yeah, I would say just please stay behind me. I will lead charge. I know you guys are curious, but I want to make sure we make it to where we need to go.
Fine by me.
And just the hamster ball rolls in right behind you.
Les is very carefully now walking on the new grass of like trying to doesn't know anything about this because also my brain is not super great, especially when it comes to plants. I would think I'm more of a tech person, so he's like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Grass. Step down. Just continues walking with like a caution of like, please, I do not want to offend. I'm so sorry if I'm offending. I do not want to. Like, I know I'm heavy. I'm so sorry.
Perfect. Well, I have a quick question. Are you all still trying to move with soft steps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think definitely in this situation because it feels like whatever is happening is we don't know that it's a living thing, but it feels like a living thing, right?
Yeah. I don't want to offend anything. It just feels
like an amoeba, you know,
I'm very sorry to the group. I think Coral is way too excited to remember to be sneaky.
Get it?
Do it.
All right. So if you're choosing to auto fail, which I'm definitely down to let happen, go ahead and take an adversity token as though you did roll. The rest of you can roll flight if you would like.
because I'm gonna try to be good and I'm gonna fail.
I rolled a d20 and I rolled a 2.
Oh boy. An 8.
An 8.
I rolled a 7.
7. Okay.
This roll clearly went so much.
We're not great at this.
All right, so in that case, Les and Bunny, both of you also gain an adversity token.
Hey guys, I'm racking up these tokens. I don't know what I'm going to spend them on.
Oh no!
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Hold on, sir. Oh no.
You are all start moving forward, and Coral, in your excitement, you just roll on.
Coral.
And as you step, and maybe Bunny, and you are just feeling a little out of it after having that moment. There's something, maybe a little uneasy, not in like a, oh, you were just like threatened, but it just in a, this is something wildly out of out of your field of knowledge.
There's something vast moving upon the planet, and I'm a little lightheaded about it.
You need some water?
Can I lean on you?
Of course, always.
Lean on me if you need.
Yeah, thank you.
I can just carry you if you want.
Really?
Yeah,
Les, please.
of course, absolutely. Hop on.
All right, Les.
I'm now totally makes sense. I'm heavy footed.
Absolutely. So Ransom being the only one to move softly. Ransom, this is what you get, being the soft stepping one at this moment, as the rest are a little distracted and stepping heavier. There's just a slight rumbling that comes and goes very quickly, as though something passed by. But whatever the case, you're able to intuit that whatever that was not from the thing you just interacted with. That was a separate thing, and it knows you're here.
Ransom's going to look back at the group and just... We might possibly want to be a little bit alert. Moving forward.
Immediate ready with the laser blade comes out from like the sheath and just like
I would say Les, you are an excellent protector to us, but if we could potentially maybe like talk our way through it. I know, whatever those creatures.
No. Of course.
Of course.
Words don't work. I've been on many a mission. Just if words don't work, sword usually does.
But you all continue walking, and the rest of your travel is calm. No more of that strange sensation, no more rumblings. And you arrive at the rendezvous point, where you can see 3 individuals, all one from each of the 3 sentient races that exist on this planet.
Like goes away.
Yeah, perfect. You see Aikpo, Baxel, Iram. Each one is dressed very ceremoniously. Getting the things correct. For Aikpo and Iram, both of them being more animalistic in nature, have these very intricately woven cloth drapes across their backs and over their heads that flow behind them in a very beautiful and very ornate way. For Baxel, it is this very high... It's like how to compare it? It's like took the collar, flipped it up, and it's just like super high up around their heads, as though to really accentuate the 3 sets of appendages that stick out from their heads.
Like an illithid mantle.
Exactly.
I just got a ping from the computer system that we're supposed to hydrate. Make sure we're hydrated on our travels.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, computer.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ambassadors Akpo, Baxel, and Iram, it is a pleasure to meet you.
I also
speak
dressed
for the New
up.
Horizon.
It's been a circle. I'm not usually this color. It's nice to meet you.
Bows. He doesn't say anything. This is not his forte.
Mm-hmm.
Just the brawn in the back.
I wish we'd gotten the memo to come dress a little bit more.
Aikpo steps forward and greets you with this very toothy smile that it's like way too accentuated to just be like a normal smile, as though this is you in wager that this is a formal greeting, just a like baring of the fangs, baring of the teeth, but in a very welcoming. It was supposed to be welcoming. Slightly, it comes off threatening just because that's very much what you would be used to from anyone else doing that, but does that, and
says,
We welcome you to this place. We wish to welcome you to our home, to a place of peace. We have not had any sort of interactions with anyone beyond our own planet, but you are welcome here.
Once again, baring the teeth in a very large way.
The ocean
Bunny
is a wild.
smile-
The ocean is a wild place. The fish have memories of lots of crazy creatures from their home planet, and so I think the fish are very unfazed and like arrange themselves into like a kind of big toothy grin.
Mhm.
On the inside, just like alternating.
Yes. Bunny, you were gonna say something?
Oh, but just very similarly, Bunny smiles back, but it's just a beam of sunlight in the shape of a crescent. And they are going to ask, how should we proceed in this sacred place? We do not wish to offend, and we wish to respect your customs.
Iram steps forward, being very crab-like in nature, puts all 4 quadrisects of their claws together to form like this sort of fist sort of motion, and as the greeting to you, it says,
Kenobi.
Kenobi.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a place where you are welcome to be laid bare and open, where we all shall be open and honest. We appreciate you coming with less of the technology that you've brought, as we come bearing very little ourselves. We understand the need for certain safety measures on your part.
Motioning to the exosuit and the ball and the suits that you need, and along with the occasional weapon.
Boing, boing, boing.
Yeah, the lack of technology, just a full mech suit in the back.
But Baxel takes all 6 of their appendages along their face and brings them together to a point, and then brings them back out in a very wide fashion. Almost kind of like a wave is a very opening, closing of a hand.
Like a squid swimming.
Yeah, very much like a squid swimming.
The fish inside of Coral are trying to mimic all of these kind of like greetings. It's a lot harder with the crab claw, because there's just not enough of them to make like the full like 4 thingies. Yeah. But with the kind of squiddy, they know what that looks like. Squids exist, and so they're just kind of like trying to do this weird. They're just it's like just a big combination of colorful fish trying to mimic what the actual faces look like.
Perfect. But as Baxel greets you, they say,
We welcome you to walk up.
Motioning to the very long steps. Each one takes about a few different like footsteps to actually move across and then go up.
This is where you will meet the one, as we call it.
There's
I-
another.
There is. We call it the one. My people do.
And then Baxel motions to Aikpo, who says,
We call it the great unknown. Because there is beauty in that which we do not know.
and then motions to Iram, and Iram says,
We call it.
We just call it, if my notes could be organized. We call it the focus, the force, the folly, as it destroys, recreates, and guides.
Is it by any chance sort of a very constant sensation? Does it like to maybe pass through and tickle your neck from time to time? Whatever neck is in all of yours anatomies?
The one who causes that deep, unknowable silence.
You see all three of them look at each other, back at you.
So you have already made first contact with them.
I think
It's
so.
fascinating. They do not normally leave this place.
Oh.
What is so special?
They seem to, all three look at you, and though despite being from different races and species, they have the same sort of connection with each other, as though the three of them have been together a very long time.
We will take you up.
And as you begin to walk up, there is a sudden rumble.
Here we go.
This rumble is heavy and shakes everything around you. And the your three contacts suddenly look very concerned.
Okay, I thought this would be like some, great divine thing, but if they're concerned, Les is now very concerned.
Yes.
The entirety of Coral just kind of ripples with the vibrations of this deep shake rumbling sound.
Is this expected? Is this normal? It seems like it might not be.
I think it might be that thing that I was telling us all to kind of be concerned about earlier.
I'm afraid you are right.
They've been following us for some bit.
Oh, I am afraid then we must hurry. This is normally do not come this close.
This type of worry, and Les is starting to release the blade.
That is a very it is that kind of worry, I will say.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
I
can't
suppose-
say hurry. A little bit of action.
They do not normally come this close because normally the one stays here and they do not wish to bother the one. Oh, but if the one is not up, then oh dear.
And they start retreating up the stairs very quickly as that rumbling grows stronger and stronger. And I'm going to give each of you a second to try and prepare to do something. What do you want to do to try and prepare for whatever is coming?
Mm-hmm.
So if,
Go on.
I was just gonna say it for Coral. It's a little difficult to fight back since they're restricted to this ball, which is kind of what they wanted to avoid being restricted by in the first place. And so the first thing that they're gonna do, given any indication of we gotta fight back, is try to get out of the ball. So they'll find a spot that's not muddy and either just if they can get out without breaking it, good. If not, they will break it to get out.
Excellent. You're able to open it up. It's designed that you should be able to get in and out very easily and quickly.
Okay.
So you're able to get out and be on the large stone steps that, while you get a little bit of sediment just as residual up into your form, it's not bad that it's noticeable at all.
Some of the little fish are taking little rocks and chucking them out of me.
Exactly.
Les is going to put himself in the most tactical position to be the first line of defense, protecting his friends. At the base, if they're coming towards us, towards the base of the stairs, and everybody else is receding up, he's going to go to the bottom to try to be first line of defense to get everything shut up behind. Get behind me and get back. And pull out his blade. Try to get into full protector mode of. He doesn't have any long range artillery. He is going to be strictly melee, it seems.
All right.
Bunny, are you ready to prepare, or do you need a couple minutes?
They know what they want to do. They yell, "Tactical retreat! Up the stairs toward the one, the great unknown, the focus, the force, the gardener, maybe." And then they start heading with the other ambassadors that way.
And then I think Ransom is going to... Ransom is not a weapons type of individual, but I would say they do have, if this is allowed, GM, I would say they do have a like a lasso, almost like a whip. Very Indiana Jones style. And I am going to expend an adversity token actually, I don't have to expend an adversity token. This is Escape Artist, which is checks to find hiding places or escape routes are made at +3. So
Excellent.
kind of finding a little hiding spot just to kind of in good view of what is happening, to keep an eye on both Coral and Les, but also be prepared there if they got to do some wrangling.
Excellent. Perfect. I love it. Go ahead and give me a flight check then.
Great.
Find that hidey hole escape route.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-roll that. I have a re-roll because that was not.
You do.
Okay, that's better. That is going to be a 9 + 3, so that is a 12.
Excellent. All right. So, with a 12, you can see that though this is a very clearly cut out stone slabs leading up this mountainside, there's a lot of plant life around that lines these steps that you could easily hide behind and not be seen right away. As far as actual protective cover, very little, as something could easily just knock it over, but at least provides visual cover so that you are not seen right away.
Okay.
So, perfect. All right. You all move as quickly as you can to get into your various positions, ready for whatever's coming. And the rumbling stops. And it's silent. Not the same silence that is oppressive, but the silence of waiting. Waiting for something to happen.
Scanning.
It's a very strange wait. As you felt it, the rumble gets so close, and then just suddenly, an immediate stop. The 3 contacts look around. They still look very concerned, and they keep moving up the mountainside. And that's when it happens. Cacophonous sound of earth erupting up and just causing a lot of pebbles and debris to fall all around, and you hear this roar of as these creatures that scale in size to that of like a minivan. These huge creatures, all with these dense cartoonous shells that are scaly in nature, and with these front forward claws that are as long as your arms and are as wide as your palm, able to very easily rip through earth and rock to get where they need to go. And they open up their maw, and it's just these lines of sharp teeth, very akin to a saber-toothed tiger in fashion, those shorter canines. And they jump all around you, 8 of them, just on either side of these stone steps. and you're in it. So, combat. Way this works, whoever wants to go, goes. And we just kind of go in a rotating order of stuff where one of you will go, an enemy will go, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So, I believe.
Am I in a position of being good, of like being a first line defense, or are they everywhere?
You are primarily at the front due to where how the stone steps are laid out.
Okay.
But think of it as they have formed a half circle around you. And some of them are, about 2 of them, one on each side, is to your back, closer to your friends.
No. Okay, cool. Going towards the one, absolutely not. I am going to put myself on to make sure I am between them and my friends.
Perfect. All right.
And if I still have stuff to do, if I can still do something after that, I would love to attack them.
Absolutely. You can definitely move and attack. You can absolutely do a conglomeration of things. So, what do you do?
Whatever the equivalent is like of goading in this, I would love to just get in between me or between them and my people and of also these powerful officials that we need to know. And I would like to brandish my lightning or my laser blade and hit the first one. And is this a fight roll?
This is a fight roll. Go right ahead. They're going to be rolling grit to take this hit.
Cool. I have a question. So I have this thing called, I'm a protector.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm protecting my crew, I get a +3. Does this count for that?
Yes, I'll say this counts for that.
Cool. Also, I get a +2 because of my laser blade, because I'm a laser blade master.
Hell
So
yeah.
I was like, I'm a fighter. I'm a merc baby. Gonna roll a d20. Ooh, that's really good. 15 plus 1, 16 plus, so 30, no, 21.
21. All right.
Oh, damn.
I was like, 30? What?
Sorry, math is weird. No, so I rolled a 15 on the dice, plus 6 in total of all my bonuses.
Perfect. You slash at this creature, and it's not necessarily used to things fighting back, it looks like, as you strike at it, and it does a significant amount of damage as this thing just gets hit really good and reels back, and it lets out this guttural it starts to back up a little bit, and it looks very injured. It looks hurt after that swing, but it marks you with intent.
Yeah, I to then I'll also like position, like show the rest of the creatures, like, if you want that, come on, I am the thing you're gonna have to go through.
Please roll me charm.
Charm? Oh god. Hey guys, I have a 1 in 4 chance of this die exploding. So it doesn't explode, but I did roll a 3. And that's it.
Right. You can add adversity tokens, as many as you want.
I would!
Each of those adds a +1 to your roll.
So I have 5, but how much, like, what would the threshold be? Do I not know?
You could spend as many. You don't know the threshold, but you can spend as many as you want to try and get there. If you,
I would spend 2 just to get to a 5 because I seem like that's like a good little point to hit.
All right. With a 5, you successfully managed to goad at least half of them. So 4 of them, all of their attention is on you, but the rest, not so much. The rest don't mark you as the biggest threat here yet.
Bad.
I have an idea or Fish, if you'd like to go. My thing might be a little wild, so.
Okay. Coral is gonna try to sucker punch the one that got absolutely lasered. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever like belly flopped into a pool before, but when water is coming at you fast, it feels like cement. And so Coral just kind of like this arm fists up and just the point is to just hit him with as much surface area of flat high speed water as possible.
That's incredible.
Fantastic.
Belly
as you're
flop
like close to hit
damage.
this thing, Les gets real scared of like, no, get back!
Oh, I have no intention of like leaving behind you, so I will punch it and then retreat back behind you.
Go ahead
Get
and roll
away!
me a fight for me.
Okay, cool. I'm good at this.
You are?
Yes. That's a 15.
15. Dang. All right. Surface tension's no joke. You deck this thing right in the noggin, and it just immediately goes falls over.
We're down to
knocks out
7.
entirely down for the count with a nice 1-2 from Les and Coral. This thing's out. The rest of these creatures.
Oh no.
Do I 4 on me, or was that one of the 4 that were?
That was one of the 4 on you, so now you're down to 3.
Ow.
But 2 of those 3 are going to come at y'all, specifically you and Coral. And so, how do y'all wish to try and invade? Are you trying to dodge? Are you trying to take it?
Oh,
How are
I'm
you
100% trying to dodge.
Perfect.
I'm a grit it, baby. I'm gonna take it.
All right, so first one, just bearing down on you after watching it get sucker punched. It comes in with this large overhand swipe at Coral.
Can I shove my body in any way, shape, or form to try to take the hit?
Unfortunately, no. You can add adversity tokens to help Coral.
Okay.
To maybe help them evade it. But Coral, what did you get?
So I'm using an adversity token to re-roll that
Because of lucky.
because of lucky. Because I got a 1 and I'm not doing that. And I'm very glad that I did re-roll that because it's a 7 now, which is a lot more than a 1.
Well, with a 7, you feel just this. As though the wind was passing over the surface of the water, causing waves. You have ripples pass over your form as this claw is a hair's breadth away from slicing into you.
Oof.
And you manage to dodge out of the way. While the other one makes more of a stabbing motion directly at Les. And Les, what did you get for your grit?
An 8. I also took tough, but I'm not sure if this is like I'm new to this system. But it says if I lose the combat roll, add 3 to the negative number. You will still lose the roll no matter what, but you would reduce your loss to -1.
Yes. So the way it works is the amount of damage taken or the severity of the attack is based off of the gap between the attacker's roll and the defender's roll. So you had an 8?
Yes.
So that +3 adds it to make it an 11, which means good things because it rolled a 17.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Good.
And so it goes from being
but this is
it goes from being very, very bad to less bad.
Mm-hmm.
It punctures into your exosuit, but your exosuit is tough enough that you're able to kind of absorb it. You definitely will need some help. Your suit will need to be repaired soon, but you're able to keep going. And also, as a reminder, you may also sacrifice any improvement you have to negate all damage, but you would just be sacrificing that improvement to be able to do it. So right now, your suit...
I might do that, because I'm not sure if this is going to be super helpful from now on, but I think I might sacrifice my utility belt. That it claws and clears and takes the utility belt out.
Yeah. So the handy dandy utility belt that you have on your exosuit just gets absolutely shredded as you try to maneuver to take this hit, and you no longer have your utility belt. All right. And now we move on. Angie, I believe you had something you wanted to do.
Yeah, so you know how bulls and rodeos get a little crazy when you try and so
Yes.
I'm going to spend an adversity token to shapeshift. And what Ransom's going to shapeshift specifically is their legs to make them just a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger. Just, bull riding legs. And they're going to, with their lasso, they're going to grab one of the closest creatures and try to wrangle it and get on top of it to make it go just bananas and try and get. I'm also, another thing, I know this is going to give Les a heart attack.
Yeah.
Doing it. And then the point is to try and upset this creature enough that they are so perturbed that they end up ramming and possibly hurting the other ones. So using their own using this creature as like a battering ram of sorts, while also doing a little bit of rodeo.
I am here for this. I love this so much. Please give me a flight check as you are going to attempt to hop on top, and then you will be giving me a brawn check to hold on.
Got it. Let me see. My brawn is not great, but we're gonna do it. Okay,
just seeing this unfold in his his screen in slow motion,
light. Okay, flight is a 6, and then brawn. Well, that's a 4, so that explodes. Yeah, it's just a D4 for brawn. That's another 4.
Oh my god!
And that's a 2. So
the universe is with you right
10.
now.
A 10 for brawn, a 6 for flight, a 10 for brawn.
It's touch and go for a hot second as you try to get on top of this thing. You feel it just shaking you off, and the initial getting on is difficult, but you manage as you've lassoed around this thing. And then once you're on top, you just suddenly, you feel like you've done this. You feel like this isn't your first rodeo.
This is my first rodeo. I'm scared. Just kidding.
Equal parts impressed and terrified for you.
With your shapeshifted legs, you just latch on, just thunder thigh grip. It's strong. You feel very secure on top of this creature.
Yeah, and just gonna try and maneuver it towards the other ones.
Okay, with that, I am going to need another brawn check from you to actually wrangle this thing.
Okay. Just a 3.
Just a 3. Okay. Take an adversity token.
Yeah.
You try to wrangle this thing. You're able to hold on fine, but actually steering it and directing it any one direction is difficult. But you do...
Whoa, Missy, whoa!
You do manage to at least distract this one, and then an additional one that's now focused on you seeing something on top one of its friends.
Oh god!
So
oh no!
two
No!
are focused on Ransom. And I'll say we have another. We'll have the one. This is going to be fun. The one that's you're not riding on, but is focused on you, is going to attempt to slash at you, and we'll see how that goes. Do you want to try to roll to evade, or just take it?
I don't want to get pushed out of this thing. So if I roll to evade, would I end up getting kicked out of it?
I'll say your roll to evade will be how you attempting to maneuver it so that it moves you out of the way.
I'll roll to evade then. Yeah.
All right, cool.
What do I have to roll? Is it grit?
That's a flight roll.
Flight. Okay.
Yes, to evade.
Great comment from Star. I can't pronounce his name, but he said "yeehaw" turned into "yeena."
I love it.
Oh, that's my spouse. Who is saying that? Not my spouse.
Even better.
That was a 7 for flight.
Okay. So do y'all remember me talking about how the various levels of severity are? 13 plus is kind of like instant unaliving. So do you want to maybe sacrifice an improvement?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I will.
This rolled a natural
in his suit right now.
20.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I will. I will give up. I will give up one of my improvements. I'll give up my troublemaker improvement. You know what? No. I'll give up my stealthy improvement. I feel like that makes better sense.
Perfect.
They're not stealthy right now. So
Narratively, what that will be is your boot. Are you wearing like boots, or like what kind of footwear are you wearing?
I think a lot of what Ransom wears has some sort of lycra-like technology that allows it to morph and expand along with whatever shapeshifting they do. So they probably look like boots, but it's all part of the same outfit. The only thing that stays the same is the duster.
Perfect.
Kind of like a whole bodysuit kind of situation.
All right, gotcha. So what happens is it's uncomfortable, but these claws are so sharp that it actually slices through some of the nanos in your feet. That it now makes it so that all of your steps are a little more clunky.
Yeah.
It's less stealthy for sure.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Whoa, Betsy! Whoa, Betsy!
Oh my God, Ransom. Yeah.
Sam!
Bunny looks to the ambassadors. You said that they're afraid of the force of the unknown?
Yes, no, that is what they do not come near here. Normally, perhaps the unknown being you all is what has aggravated them in some way. I don't know, but normally the force, the focus it keeps them at bay from here. Normally this is a safe place.
The item that Bunny always has on their person is a watering can. They pull out their watering can and they start to water the space around them, the plants around them. And as they do, they're like, this seems kind of dumb, but this is really all I can do. I don't fly. And then they start banging on it. Gardner, I need you to come back now!
It's like those wife yelling competitions, you know, the ones?
Yeah.
It's like the husband yelling competition.
I ain't getting no sleep because of y'all.
Come back!
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, all right. I want to let you know this is going to be a tough check.
Okay.
I want you to roll charm.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Can do it.
I want it to work, and I rolled an 11. I'm going to use all of my adversity tokens to make that 16.
16. I want you to know you needed a 15.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's not instant. And in fact, you don't feel anything right away. But there's this message that suddenly comes through the comms. And you hear Charles.
I need you all to hurry. Something just happened. The sandstorm? It sped up. It'll be on you in moments.
Charles, I may have done that.
How?
Upon us all, little rain must fall, sweetheart.
You just hear a very stunned silence from Charles.
I have many questions that we will get answers for once you return safely. None of you... No perishing today, please.
All hear that message?
Yes, you all hear that message.
We're trying.
No promises.
The three individuals of this planet, your contacts, actually all suddenly look towards the direction that the storm is coming, and you can see it moving fast.
Huh.
And they all suddenly do their respective motions of greeting, of welcoming, towards the sandstorm.
Oh, that's sick.
You know what that means?
Yeah, mid-fight.
The fish split into 3 different groups and do all 3 of the greetings at the same time.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But Aikpo says,
This will be very good, but this is very dangerous for you all, as we have resistance to the one. But you all will be quite injured. We must get you to the peak quickly.
and they start running up the steps towards the peak as you still have 7 of these creatures. Some have been moving around. There's some that have been trying to navigate, haven't attacked full on, but some are still there. You have little time left before the sandstorm is on top of you.
Get a new time clock.
Yep.
Move it or lose it.
So can I attempt? Okay, this is gonna be a Hail Mary to try and get us out of here. Much like in rodeo, you're kind of trying to calm down and kind of persuade the creature, right? I possibly do some kind of like charm or something to be like, come on, girl, it's okay, I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to end up like that buddy of yours.
You may absolutely try. Go right ahead and roll charm.
Okay. All right. I'm going to add just the 2 adversity tokens that I have, and I'm going to make that a 15. So I rolled a 13.
Oh, fantastic. As you attempt to try and soothe this thing,
It's okay.
you sense this sort of sudden shift in its attitude as it suddenly is experiencing what we would call affection. It's as light of a term as you possibly could describe it. It is like curious. It goes from hostile to a little more interested.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense that you will not. I mean, you couldn't at this point convince it to attack maybe its friends, but you could at least get it to move freely.
Okay.
So you now, for all intents and purposes, have control over this creature.
What are these creatures called, by the way?
That's a great point. The 3 contacts didn't mention it before, but these things are called Isopidae.
Isopidae, okay.
Isopides.
All right.
So
All right.
Just
all
a
right.
really weird way of saying isopods.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, buddy, I know you're afraid of this one focused force, but I gotta get myself up those steps. So maybe you could, tell your buddies to go take shelter before the storm, and then maybe I can grab my buddies and we can go up the steps and you can come see what's up there. As long as you're all good with it and you don't try to fight us. We're not trying to fight you. Well, us is trying to fight you. I'm not trying to fight you. I'll be nice to you. Give you some food, some water. I don't know, maybe you can come with us. We can do a little bit of, a little bit more than just sitting in this planet.
It goes, huh? As it
I like
does
this.
not understand you.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. I'm going to try and maneuver them to be like, up to the rest of the party. Think maybe let's try and go up.
Excellent. The one nearby, as you attempt to get away, is going to get one more swipe at you. So I'll let you roll another flight check to get away.
If this is a new round of combat, can I step in between?
You are close. You can't quite step in between of them. They're a little further up. But I am going to use that reroll I got earlier.
Oh no, the evil.
Okay, didn't make too much of a difference. What did you get?
Just a 6.
6.
Yeah.
This time, you're not quite as lucky. Unless you want to sacrifice another thing. This is not as bad. This is not going to be an outright. But...
you know what? I'll take it. All
right. I like it. This time, the claws catch you full on and thread through your trench coat. And you can feel it slice through your midriff. Just all along the side, kind of out the back, as it just cuts through. And it's painful. These things are razor sharp. But you are now considered very injured. You will need medical attention soon.
Yeah.
All right.
After the Charles notification, Coral is going to dive back into the spamster ball and yeet themselves up the stairs towards where we're trying to get to.
Perfect. One of these creatures will get a swing at you. Les, you may stand in between.
I want to take everything I can from this take. Like, I would love to take it all if I could.
Okay, wonderful. I will say, give me a quick flight check to see how quickly you can move.
Okay.
It doesn't have to. It's not
feels
gonna.
So bad for
I rolled an 8, so it explodes.
The fish feels so bad for Les, but Coral does not care. Coral's like, I'm out.
I'm doing my job. I rolled an 8 plus 4, 12.
All right, that'll do it. Go ahead and give me a grit check if you just are trying to take it.
Taking it. Making sure you don't. It rolled a 12! Explodes! Rolled another 12!
Oh my gosh!
And an 8.
So 32.
That's
a 32.
I would like just like all the plated armor just into like a shield as I just
claws just dink right off of it as though they're nothing compared to your armor.
If I could like bash up and prepare for my own strike against the thing on my turn.
Absolutely. You can absolutely do that. Just go ahead and roll to attack. Roll fight. As this thing, I'm going to say with that good enough defense, I'm going to say it has a negative to its defense. Because that is exciting.
I rolled a 12 on the die plus my bonuses, which is 6, so 18.
All right. You severely injure this thing, and you just bash and swing, and it immediately goes flying back from the force of your attack. And it stays down for a moment before trying to get up, and it does not come back at you, but it just eyes you as it stays back.
I would like to then point my sword at the incoming storm for all creatures and hold up my new-ish shield as like, face that or face me.
Yeah. The other ones seem to stand by, but there's still one that was focused on you that is already incoming. It like as you're doing that, it is mid swing, and you see it out of the corner of your eye as
Oh,
you
boy.
turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll grit.
Be so great if that happened again. 8 on the dice for grit. And I don't seem I have any bonuses unless I would have the protector feat, but that's
Nah, not in this case. All
if
right.
I fail, I have tough.
But overall, that is enough, as it also rolled an 8, and so ties go to the defense. You manage to bring, as you see out of the corner of your eye, with your shield, you just block it and manage to redirect it just barely, as this thing has swung at you.
Just trying to make sure everybody else is safe, and if anybody else is safe, I'll start moving back up. But I am staying here until I know everybody else is good.
All right. You do see the rest of them are already on their way up the stairs.
But I'll slowly start back retreating, but making sure the line is still held.
Okay.
Can I keep my ISO Day buddy with me?
Yes, absolutely.
It's my new mount.
Perfect. I'm going to mark down that you said slowly moving back.
Make sure.
That's for later.
Yeah, I know. I know.
These
Still sacrificing BB. Let's go.
As you all make your way up, you start to hear the sandstorm. It is loud. It is deafening as this just sand buffering against sand and hitting everything in its wake just creates this cacophony of noises. It starts to drown out everything, and even the smell. This constant earthy soil cotton candy smell that you've had this entire time actually starts to fade, and it becomes much more fresh. It's like the air's clearing, as though it has become less thick. You can actually breathe a little easier. It's a very weird sensation. So you had finally gotten used to the thickness of the atmosphere. It's suddenly...
the sandstorm just like pushing it away, that atmosphere.
Yeah, that is the sensation.
Standing in front of a fan.
And once again, through the columns, Charles says,
"You have moments, literal seconds before it's on top of you. Please get to safety."
We're running.
Aikpo, Baxel, and Iram, all three of them, usher all of you to the top, as you still have some of these creatures coming up the stairs towards you, but they motion to a small entryway that is... it's a hatch, though a very ornate hatch that they grab, and as it lifts, it grinds against the stone that it's built into. And they say, "Quickly, in here." And at this moment, only one of you can get in there at a time. So what is the order that y'all get in there?
Bunny
or Coral.
Bunny or Coral first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Bunny or
further
Coral first
back.
for sure.
Coral or Bunny was all the way up at the top, or like with the officials before I started kind of running up. So I think I'd be behind Bunny.
Cool. Oh, that almost forgot. Bunny.
Yes.
As the atmosphere changes, you feel that weight again. The condensing comes back, but this one feels somewhat different. This one feels like this is just this on the cusp of something else. There's more coming, and this time it feels dangerous. I need you to give me a grit check.
It's my grit. Oh. 6.
6. Please take an adversity token.
Okay.
Bunny, you freeze up as you have been feeling and having this sensation of there's something at work here. Whatever, the gardener, the unknown, the force, the focus, the one. There's something to that just seems to freeze you in place. As though you're listening to a story that's enraptured you. Sound is drowned out. That oppressive, filled silence washes over you again. It feels like a warm bath, for lack of a better way to express it, for how it would feel to a cloud, but it fills you with this peace that somewhere underneath you know you can't stay, as though someone's whispering to you amidst all of this. Hide. Be safe. And with that, the rest of you see Bunny freeze up right outside the entrance of this thing.
Oh.
Can I like physically push Bunny inside with my spamster ball?
Am I like, how far away am I from the group? I definitely would. I'm still holding the line. I'm making sure those creatures that are still following are not getting close.
I would say you're probably about 30 feet away.
Yeah,
Close enough that you, if you book it, but
I feel like I trust my crew members to get Bunny in. I'm making sure I'm putting whatever myself is the advantage point to make sure that I can protect them from anybody.
Of course.
Yeah. So if I need to back up more and get closer to them, that's fine. But if I need to stay where I am, that's also good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna physically try to push Bunny in with my spamster ball.
Go ahead and give me a brawn check.
Okay. Brawn. Oh goodness. Okay. No, that landed weird. That explodes. Thank goodness.
Oh!
Nice. That's an 8.
An 8 total?
Yeah, an 8 total.
All right.
Can I flavor this? I imagine that succeeds.
It does. Go ahead.
Bunny is staring up into the sky and just sort of murmuring to themselves, if I could even just be a little bit like this, imagine what I could do. And they get taken out at the ankles and fall into this space mid-reverie, mid-freeze, and just tumble down into whatever this hole is. Carl!
Coral's just like, I'm going inside, and if I have to take any of y'all down with me, we are going inside.
Oh, I love that so much. So good.
How big is the entrance?
The entrance, is not big enough for your new friend to
not my buddy!
get inside. It is wide, but it is short, as though it is made like the shortest thing it can fit is the crab-like people.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to get in there.
Unless you get out of your exoskeleton.
Let me see. I think
would, if it helps your decision making, you would note that the exoskeleton of the creatures is very hard and dense, and it looks as though they would survive if they got caught in it. It's not necessarily the sandstorm they're scared of what makes it.
Okay. So I think what Ransom's going to do is they get right up to the door, and then see that they can't fit their new isopede, and then they're going to turn to the isopede and be like, you, like making digging motions, and just like get on the ground, dig, 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 and then going to just be like, stay here.
Okay, give me a charm roll just to see if you can get your point across.
Yeah,
It's not going to be too hard, but
it's a 12.
okay. Yeah, you it tilts its head, and you see these very small pointed ears that have tiny little tufts of fur on the ends of them, like stick out and like kind of like wiggle a little bit, and then they and then you see the backs of the ears are actually also this hard cartilage shell. And they do that, and you see them turn, and they go over a little ways where it's a softer soil, and they just start digging.
And it's like, stay. And then they're going to turn and see Leslie like, let's go.
Perfect, thank you. Wonderful. You, so I assume you hop in, and Coral, you follow right behind Bunny. And then all that's left now, Les, you know that to fit inside there, you'll have to hop out of your exosuit real quick.
Am I able, what is the dangers looking like?
Right now, the danger is all in front of you. Behind you, you are totally safe. You just have to pop out of your exosuit and jump into the hole.
Okay, I'm running my exoskeleton as quickly as I can, as close to the hole as I can, to try to create an extra layer to the door and as an extra layer of defense. Put it on sentry mode if I could. Grab my little flash drive and open up, I guess, and my little tiny, small, short, frail body goes, oh no.
I think Ransom would grab them. Lift them and grab them back, and it's like, can I grab you? Of course, asking for consent. Because, and then just scoop them up, and then
really good.
Run.
Fun note for Lord Katorans, I get a D4 for all physical based checks if I'm out of my skeleton.
That is incredible.
So I just did.
Just scoop.
I'm gonna pat my my big boy goodbye as I get shoved in.
Excellent. You jump in, and the hatch above, as you are getting into this this room, and the hatch above you starts closing, you can see the rest of the Isopides starting to also follow suit in your new friend and dig and hunker down. And then once the hatch closes is when it hits all of you. This silence. You do not even hear the sandstorm outside, despite the protective hatch not being so dense that it would cut out noise. It fills the room, this silence. And you see your three contacts, Aikpo, Baxel, and Iram. They are each seemingly in a meditative state that, Bunny, you are also very much already in. And the rest of you, it slowly starts to move over you. This sense of wonderment, of something taking care, of watching over, of something treasuring you. And it's a strange sensation, something unlike anything you've ever felt before, for maybe when you were a baby. And if you know, whatever your parents did to take care of you, it feels like that. And it's calm. And despite the fact that it takes 30 or so minutes as this thing starts to slow down once it gets to you, the moment feels like it lasts hours, days, weeks even. And then slowly you start to hear muffled, but coming through slowly now, Charles. Are you alive? Are you there? Do you read me? Anyone?
Ew.
Oh, they're alive. They're alive. That you hear them turn away from their mic to tell the rest of the crew aboard the New Horizon. What happened?
A lot. It was a lot.
Sandstorm.
Charles,
Also,
the
ice
sky
penis.
is alive.
Oh, you're talking to. Okay, my communication was with my suit.
We have a lot to discuss then. All right. Well, did you meet with your contacts? Is everything okay?
Affirmative.
Yep.
All right. Well, Sandstorm has moved past. You have 14 hours to get out of there. We'll send down a new ship to meet you. But I hope conversations and diplomacy go well.
I think
Message.
I think it went very.
I think we gotta
swimmingly.
learn. What was that?
I think it went swimmingly.
Hell yeah.
If you guys wouldn't mind, no rush at all. Can I get back to my suit? It's really no rush or worry.
Bunny, what were you saying?
Just into the communication device. I think we gotta learn how to weather this storm, because I want to stay here for a little bit.
Fantastic. And with that, the Aikpo, Baxel, and Iram open up the hatch once more and take you a little further up to the meeting place. And after your bravery in attempting to fend off the Isopides and calling on the gardener, as now has become the new term aboard the New Horizon during your stay here, conversation goes beautifully. A relationship is born where you share in technology with this planet. They share with you, and a beautiful friendship between the New Horizon and these three different cultures blossoms from your actions here today, in showing your selflessness and your bravery in just attempting to save people that you've just met, and also being able to connect with the one, the unknown. That is what showed these people your goodness and kindness. And with that, you have successfully completed your mission aboard the New Horizon and coming down to this planet. And all is well.
Nobody died. I was kind of expecting to die.
I was close there. Got close.
That's very close. Excellent. Well, stay tuned. Magic the Gathering is up next, but I'll remind you of that. But first, these have been my wonderful players. Reintroduce yourselves.
I'm going to go first. I'm Kassie, also known as Nat20_NPC on TikTok. That's where you can find me, or you can find me at Good Time Society. I'm the voice of God and the tech runner over there. So yeah, come hang out for a good time.
I'm Fish. I'm Fish Finley on all the places. You can follow my Instagram. Is the main place I'm posting my art right now. You can catch me on Saturdays on the Surfer Fish channel because I level 20 campaign. It's a wonderful time. This has been great.
Hello! I am Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. You can find me over on twitch.tv/Tales Archived on Sundays in the Known Realms Telesh campaign. And you can find me every other Saturday on twitch.tv/Stealthy Elf Productions, playing a Pathfinder 2e campaign, Unearthed Inheritance. Angie.
And I'm Angie, Agonethetic on the internet. You can also find me on Sunday nights over at Tales Archived on Known Realms Celeste, along with Button. And you can also, if you like One Piece, listen to my sisters and I's Two Sisters One Piece podcast, where we discussed all there is to talk about with One Piece.
Fantastic. And I have been your Space Master, Luke. You can find me with Misty Mountain Legends. We have a podcast. It's great. I run Teens in Space on it right now. That's our current campaign. So if you liked this and you want to see more Teens in Space, go check us out wherever you catch your pods.
Space
but
Master.
once again,
Master.
Master.
Master?
Excellent. Stick around for Magic the Gathering, and could you repeat that, Ivy? Sorry, I missed it. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I'm being told we're closing out. Stick around for Magic the Gathering. Thank you for listening. Bye.